The afternoon sun was blazing over Balewa Market in Lagos, the kind of sun that made the air shimmer and the ground burn under bare feet. The market was alive with noise, traders shouting prices, children darting between stalls, and women balancing baskets of fruit on their heads. But in the middle of all that life, one cruel act brought everything to a standstill. A wallet slipped unnoticed from a fine leather handbag, falling onto the dusty ground. Chinedu, a thin man in worn clothes, bent down quickly to pick it up. He clutched it carefully, intending to return it. But before he could even speak, a sharp voice rang out. "You thief!" The crowd turned. Adana, dressed in a sparkling blue suit and towering heels, stormed toward him. Her face twisted in disgust. Without waiting for an explanation, she kicked him so hard in the stomach that he doubled over, gasping for air. His old phone tumbled from his hand. Chinedu clutched his stomach, trying to speak through the pain. I was only giving it back." His words were weak, barely audible. Adana snatched her wallet from him, flipped it open, and sighed in relief when she saw everything still there. But her relief didn't soften her cruelty. She slapped him across the face, then again harder. Gasps rippled through the onlookers. A few women whispered, "If he were a thief, he would have run." Another man muttered, "He was returning it, I saw." But no one dared challenge Adana. She was from a wealthy family. Her arrogance made her dangerous. "You think I don't see through your poor tricks?" Adana hissed, her voice dripping with contempt. "You wanted people to believe you're a hero. But look at you don't even belong here. You're lucky I'm in a good mood, or I'd make sure you rot in a cell." Chinedu stumbled forward, accidentally brushing her heel as he tried to steady himself. Adana's face turned red with fury. "How dare you touch me?" She kicked him again, right in the same spot. The pain was unbearable. Chinedu collapsed, coughing up blood. His body curled on the ground, trembling. He reached weakly for his phone, trying to call for help. Adana snatched it from him, sneering.
"Ah, so you even stole my iPhone."
"And what's this?" She pulled out a wad of foreign currency from his pocket, money Chinedu had saved over months from odd jobs. She held it high for the crowd to see. "Now tell me, how can a man dressed like a beggar have this kind of money? He is a thief." The crowd began to murmur. One by one, people turned away, shaking their heads. They believed her. And soon, the market returned to its noise, leaving Chinedu bleeding on the ground. But one pair of eyes hadn't looked away. At the edge of the market stood Ngozi, Adana's younger stepsister. She arrived just in time to see the wallet slip, to see the blows land, to see the prideful smirk on her sister's face. Ngozi's heart pounded. She knew the truth. Chinedu was innocent. And she knew Adana far too well. For years, Ngozi had lived under the same roof with Adana and their stepmother, Ayabo. Her life was filled with insults, endless chores, and punishments for things she hadn't done. Her kindness was mocked, her silence taken as weakness. Yet deep down, Ngozi held on to hope that one day her goodness would matter. As soon as Adana strutted away, leaving Chinedu gasping for breath, Ngozi ran to his side. She knelt, her voice trembling. "Please don't give up. You're not alone." With the help of a kind passerby, she lifted him onto a cart and rushed him to the nearest hospital. There, the doctor's expression turned grave. He was kicked directly where an untreated appendix was about to rupture. "He needs emergency surgery right now." Ngozi's stomach sank. Surgery meant money. Money she didn't have. The only cash in her pocket was the errand money Ayabo had given her that morning. She hesitated for only a moment before pressing it into the doctor's hands.
"Take it. Please save him."
"I'll find the rest later." The surgery was long, but it was successful. Ngozi sat by Chinedu's bedside, holding his hand until his eyelids fluttered open. His voice was hoarse. Why did you help me? You don't even know me." Ngozi smiled faintly, because no one else would. But as dawn broke, she returned home, dreading what awaited her. Ayabo was waiting at the gate, her face twisted in fury. "Where's the money?" she demanded. I used it to pay the hospital," Ngozi whispered. Ayabo's hand struck her across the face. "You wasted my money on a beggar? From tonight, you sleep outside." Adana, standing in the corner, clapped her hands in mockery. "Serves you right, Ngozi. Maybe now you'll learn your place." Ngozi slept outside on the cold cement floor, mosquitoes biting at her skin, her stomach empty. Yet even as tears slid down her cheeks, she whispered, "If I had to choose again, I would still save him." The following day, determined to repay the debt, Ngozi went to the market to carry loads for strangers. She worked until her back ached, until her hands blistered. Some customers were kind, but many insulted her, calling her names, pushing her aside. Still, she endured. By afternoon, a wealthy-looking woman noticed her efforts. "Young girl, you are strong and hardworking. Come help me, and I will pay you 10 times the usual." Ngozi's heart lifted. This money could change everything. She carried the woman's load with renewed energy, smiling despite her exhaustion. But just as she was about to set the basket into the car, someone bumped her hard from behind. "Watch where you're going," a familiar voice snapped. Ngozi froze. Adana. And beside her stood her fiancé. Adana's eyes narrowed with disgust. "You again?" Still crawling in the dirt. She shoved the basket from Ngozi's hands, scattering the goods across the ground. Ngozi dropped to her knees, frantically gathering them, but Adana stomped on the items, grinding them into the dust with her heels. "If you want my forgiveness," she said smugly, "bow down and lick my shoes." Ngozi's heart pounded. Her pride shattered. Slowly, trembling, she sank to her knees. But before she could bow her head, a man's voice rang out, steady and strong.
"No.
She doesn't deserve this humiliation." Ngozi turned, and her breath caught. It was Chinidu, but no longer frail, no longer broken. He stood tall in a tailored suit, his eyes sharp, his presence commanding. Adana's face went pale. But you. Chinidu snapped his fingers. Suddenly, black SUVs screeched to a halt. Bodyguards spilled out, surrounding the plaza. The market fell silent. Then came the truth. Chinidu wasn't a beggar at all. He was Chinidu Okafor, founder of Okafor Holdings, a tech empire. He had gone undercover to investigate fraud within his company. And guess who he had caught? Adana and her fiancé, caught red-handed with stolen data. The guards searched their bags and produced flash drives and bank slips. The evidence was undeniable. Adana dropped to her knees, stammering, "Please, forgive me." Chinidu's voice was cold. "Did you forgive me when I was bleeding on the ground? Did you spare me your cruelty when I begged for mercy?"
No.
"And now, justice has found you." The police led Adana and her fiancé away as the crowd erupted in shock. Then, in front of everyone, Chinidu turned to Ngozi.
His voice softened.
"If not for you, I wouldn't be alive today. You stood by me when no one else would. From this day forward, you will never suffer again." He took her hand gently. "Ngozi, will you marry me?" Ngozi's eyes filled with tears. For the first time in her life, she felt seen, valued, cherished. She whispered, "Yes." The crowd cheered. Neighbors who once mocked her clapped and shouted blessings. And that day in Balwa Market, a lesson echoed louder than any gossip. Kindness may be mocked, it may be punished, but in the end it always wins.